Here's a good one. Dear Louis, how can I best address my neediness and my constant need for attention? I have had a very bad habit of using subversive means to get attention rather than just admitting that I have been needy. I appreciate your honesty in speaking up about this. This is actually quite a common condition. Not only the tremendous neediness that many people have, which is often woven part and parcel into codependency. They go hand in hand most of the time. And neediness has many flavors. I noticed that you delineated neediness and then need for attention, because there are many kinds of neediness. And one of them, in your case, being the need for attention, which is also extremely common. And there are many causes and roots for that. The biggest one and the most common one is not having been given the proper or sufficient attention and nurturing from parents and caregivers in early childhood, early in developing childhood. And that is what develops this suction, unhealthy need, and which becomes a demand for attention. And in your case, you were honest enough to confess that you'll even go, and quite often have gone, to subversive means to get it, stopping at nothing, including hurting other people, stepping on other people, intervening, intercepting other people just to get in the limelight, and use whatever means you can, even lie, to get attention on you. So knowing the source is the beginning of conquering this demon. That's where it came from. So there needs to be some delving in your own spiritual practices and with therapists, mentors, coaches, if need be. And hopefully nowadays most people have them because it's accepted now. Decades ago, it was shunned upon if people went to therapists, and now people are almost shunned upon if they don't. It's like, what do you mean you don't have a therapist or a mentor? What are you, Cro-Magnon? So I'm happy about that change, but now that's accepted. So in your delving with your spiritual tools, with your mentor, with your therapist, you got to go to root out those origins and then have release and transmute there, forgive the perpetrators, reprogram yourself to love and accept yourself, and recognize that was then, this is now, and you don't have to operate that way nor be run by those wounds. So that's the first part. And then, of course, there are changing the behaviors in present time. One of them is by first catching yourself. Stop waiting for others to catch you or be hurt by your choices, or having other people having to get up in your face, up in your grill, and saying, hey, come on, man, what are you doing? It's important to develop the self-discipline of seeing, oh, geez, I just did that again. And then you apologize. I'm really sorry about that. There's my juvenile neediness for attention again. I apologize. Catch yourself, clean it up, and then silently make a pledge not to do that anymore. And if you do it again, catch yourself, apologize, clean it up, and you own it there. And it helps other people too, because then they see that you're aware of it, having integrity, that you're at least owning it, and it helps them. And that engenders more forgiveness from the other person when they see that you're in there and you're not just steamrolling and plowing over people. It's when people have a wanton disregard for their non-loving actions, that's like adding insult, that is adding insult to injury. And people get offended by that, sometimes even more than the offensive act, showing the lack of remorse, the lack of restitution, the lack of acknowledging, the lack of ownership, the lack of accountability, in many cases offends people and hurts people more than the act of perpetration that was done against them. So becoming accountable and owning it and apologizing and making restitution where necessary, that is a huge part. And that in turn that is part of your healing and reprogramming as you begin to become accountable and catch yourself. Really, really important, not just on this issue, but on all issues that you're striving to transform. There's that need for accountability and integrity and honesty and ownership. Really, really crucial. And I wish more people would implement that, because it makes your own growth, spiritual and life growth, happen exponentially faster than waiting for someone else to catch you, waiting for someone else to do it for you. That's the slow road, slow boat to China. So let's see. And then the other thing is, so we've talked about going to the source, cleaning up there, catching yourself when you exhibit the habits in present time, and stopping it, owning it, apologizing, make restitution. And then the other thing is, when those moments happen in present time, you do while working on the past and catching yourself. The other thing is, let that trigger, when you see it happen, show you like, okay, in this moment, I'm needing attention. Why? Why am I needing attention right now? And that's another, like, an internal process you have. It's instantaneous. And so there's the outward cleaning it up where you just made the mess, but also there's the cleanup on the inside. And you say, okay, wait a minute. I'm not 8. It's not my mother criticizing me. That's not my father degrading me or ignoring me. Yet once again, I'm a grown man or woman right now. And so you create that separation, and you look at the actual circumstances of the moment. Am I feeling ignored or not recognized for something? Or what circumstances here are triggering, re-stimulating a memory from my past? And that brings you back present, and you realize, oh, well, that's not happening right now, so I don't need to do that. Or you realize, as a grown sentient adult, you say, okay, well, I'm not there. I'm sitting around a dinner table with 8 other people, and everybody's talking and taking turns. I don't need to be the only one talking. I don't need to have my storyline be the center of attention. Everybody has quiet moments, talky moments. You just assess the current situation through your present lens, not through your wounded 8 or 10-year-old lens. You look at it through your present lens, and you assess the situation, and you recognize that the boogeyman or the trigger, it might have just been something, a look someone said, or a tone, a phrase that was a trigger, like something one of your parents would say. And then you realize, oh, wow, that was just a trigger. That what I'm thinking and feeling and remembering is not what's happening right now. And that pulls you out of it. Or you just tell you parent yourself in that moment, and just say, okay, just chill. We're 8 adults around the table. You'll have your chance to talk. You don't need to, wave your flag and get all this Klieg light shining on you. You're one of 8 people at the table. Enjoy yourself, relax, and you just I know it sounds like I'm saying a lot, but this all happens in a matter of 1 or 2 seconds. And what creates that? You being proactive and responsible. Don't wait for the triage and the mess to be cleaned up and all the damage to be done. Don't wait for that. Be proactive. And if, let's say, in the beginning, you're not going to be very good at it, just accept that. More often than not, other people will be pointing out what you did or said. But once someone does, that should hopefully put you on high alert. Say, okay, I'm doing it. Let me be a little more cognizant of my behavior for the rest of this dinner or the rest of this evening. Since I already did it once, there are triggers here. So now I will be the cognizant one, so I won't be caught again, and I'll just monitor myself. Or maybe another good one could be, if you get caught, and you probably will, like I said in the beginning, it'll be other people catching you more. When you do get caught and you see, okay, my program is kicked in, you implement the opposite. So you know what? Obviously, I'm feeling really needy right now, wanting a lot of attention, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go quiet, and I'm just going to let other people shine tonight, and I will watch and listen and smile, and I'll just be quiet. And that starts to break down the program too, the negative programming. Now, again, it might take you getting caught once, but it need not take you getting called out 6, 7 times where you're ruining everyone's evening. Once should be enough. And then eventually you'll get up to speed, catching yourself and being proactive, especially as you're working with your therapist on transmuting, you're reprogramming yourself, changing your behaviors, catching yourself, making apologies. You'll get better and better and better until eventually you'll actually see like the train coming down the road, and then you'll be like at a similar gathering and you think, you know what? Before you've insulted anyone or stepped on anyone's toes or taken the limelight from someone, you'll become aware of the feeling. I'm feeling really needy, like I'm just about to ruin everyone's evening here, or kind of step in the limelight where I'm not even being asked or invited, and then you'll catch yourself, and then you'll start to self-correct. So accept and allow that it is a learning curve. Don't beat on yourself in the beginning, but it's really important to be proactive, to be responsible, and not just wait for everyone else to do it for you. So, all right. Really good question. Thank you so much. And I hope that's been helpful. I gave you some really constructive tools there in 3 different arenas to come at this beast from all sides and have the most transformation and growth in this regard. So go for it. All right.